All right, good morning, guys. Back at it with another MLB DFS slate. It's just comical at this point. Um, so we went with Gilbert with some Philly and some San Francisco bats. So we had Conforto swapped off him, and that hurt. Gilbert did his job. Lamonte Wade, 3 for 5 with an RBI and stolen base. Pretty good. Stott had an RBI. Harper nuked one. Kyle Schwarber 1 for 3 with an RBI and a walk. And that was pretty much it. Trey Turner has been dog shit this season. 0 for 5. JD Davis went 0 for 5. It's just comical at this point. That's all I have to say. And you were just saying this right before we started recording. We were 12-2 in 2 weeks. So it was only a matter of time for us to start going downhill a little bit. But give me
Yeah,
give me
I
thoughts
mean,
from that today.
I literally said on the video yesterday when we were making the lineups and Trey Turner popped up at 40% not to play him. I still fell on the sword cake. I'm just an idiot. I also pivoted off, a cashable lineup like 5 minutes before lock, and we posted that one. And of course, it misses because Conforto hit a nuke in the eighth inning. Um, it was cake, and we're playing like cake, and we need to be better. So we're going to start to hopefully be better this week.
4 more days until Bezos Day. Hopefully, you gotta get back on the winning trend a little bit. But this is a massive slate today, so there's some different areas you can go. So I'm pretty confident. All right, let's start with pitchers. So as of right now, it's got Gosman, Sale, Peralta, Kirby, Mitch Keller, Hunter Brown, Reed Detmers, Lizardo. Where's our mind at here?
So Gaussman is a bit of a priority for me. I do hate that he has double the ownership of anybody else on the slate, but he has the highest K prop at 8 today. He's also facing a pretty watered down lineup from the Twins. No Polanco, no Kepler, no Larnick. Gallo's questionable. So if Gallo's ruled out too, that's another lefty power guy that Gaussman doesn't have to face. Just a pretty decent spot, decent favorites, and the Twins only project for 2.8 runs on Ballpark Pal. It's pretty low. That's like A's numbers. Other than that, there's other pretty decent pitching options. You got either side of this Seattle Pittsburgh game. Keller's been playing out of his mind. Kirby also fine, both 6.5 K props. Hunter Brown against the A's again. Sure, why not? I mean, I'm not going to argue against that. Scherzer, interesting price tag. Usually he's not below 10K. He's 9-1. 5.5K prop is a little low for him, but it's also playing in core, so that's probably why. And they're decent favorites, so I don't hate the play. Probably not a priority for me though. And then Lizardo and Sale, both 5.5K props. I like Sale a little bit better, even though I think Lizardo's maybe $1,000 cheaper. Sale has looked a bit better the last month or so. I thought he was good and dead when the season started, and he gave up a ton to start. It looks like he's got it back, and I don't know if I mentioned Emmer's already, but it's 5.5K prop again. Decent juice to the over, decent spot for him as well.
Anytime I hear Reed Detmers, I think about we almost played him and we didn't, and he had like 12 Ks. That was insane that night. Gosman looks like clear cut number one, 11-1 at 20%. Kirby's in a decent spot, only getting 4%. Hunter Brown has the best matchup at 8%, and it's a little cheaper, so that's a different option if you want to go there. Lizardo, I kind of like 9-6 against the Angels at 2%. Him and Detmers are just different places. Detmers is getting 10%, which is a little weird, but I think it's just because of the matchup. Um, those are both pitchers in that game. I kind of like. Um, that's kind of it. I don't understand the Peralta ownership. I mean, sure. Nothing else is really standing out. This is just a ginormous slate, and a lot of people aren't really popping out as much. It's also kind of weird to see Scherzer at 9-1. But obviously, like you said, it's a cores factor. Mitch Keller at 11-4. That's insane. Yeah, I mean, Luzardo and Detmers, if you want to be different and get better bats, you can go with them. Hunter Brown 10-3 looks good. I think you got to prioritize Gosman and then build your lineup around him. If you want to get different, go with Kirby, Brown, Detmers, or Luzardo. It's kind of where I'm at.
I I just noticed this. I don't know why is Grayson Rodriguez getting 15% here. Do you see that? Am I blind?
Against
Uh,
the Rangers, maybe at 79.
I'll have to look more into that, but he's getting a little bit of ownership. Doesn't seem like I would want to get there on this big of a slate at that kind of ownership. His optimal percentage is only 4.5%, so 3 times that. I think I'd rather just stay away, but I'll have to look more into that.
Let's look at his numbers real quick. He's been ass. May 20th against Toronto, 27 fantasy points. May 15th against the Angels, -5. May 9th against Tampa, 29. His last good game was April 29th, where he got 48 against Detroit. All right, yeah. Do not play Grayson Rodriguez.
I
Oh,
mean, I wouldn't say don't play him, but I just don't like him at 15%. It's just a little
exactly.
steep, little steep for me, especially when everyone else is literally sub 10 besides Gaussman. You're just
Mhm.
better off taking a shot on somebody else, I think.
Right. Let's get to sticks because there are some interesting options here. So it's got the Mets at cores, go figure. Houston, Atlanta, San Diego, Boston, KC, and then it kind of drops off a little bit. Everyone and their mother is going to be playing every Met today. So I kind of know we're going to have to go with a couple of them, but what's standing out?
I don't want to play any Mets.
I don't either,
I
but
I really don't. Especially after they went off yesterday, you know they're gonna dud today. They're gonna score 3 runs. They still might win because that's how bad Colorado is, but it's gonna be like 4-1, and everyone's gonna be tilted. It's gonna be like a solo shot from Pete Alonso and an RBI double from Nimmo or something, and that's all anyone's gonna get. And that's not gonna be enough on this slate. So I'm gonna look elsewhere, just try to be different. Um, I think the Braves look the best to me, and probably similar prices. I haven't looked at the Mets price increases yet, but I'm assuming they got like $400, $500 increases from being in cores. But if I can afford them, then I can afford the Braves, and I'd rather just play them against Helen Walker. And also just some weird factor. I think I always end up on the Braves on Fridays. I don't know why that is. I've just noticed that recently. But I also like Houston a little bit, of course, playing Oakland. Not the greatest park to hit in, but playing James Kaprielian in the worst bullpen in baseball. So, you know, take your shots there. I like Boston. KC stands out a little bit on Ballpark Pal, playing against Corbin. Decent weather, looks like 75 degrees first pitch. Um, Past that, maybe Philly on the other side of the Braves game against Schuster. And kind of it. Maybe Baltimore against Gray just because he has some volatility, but nothing nothing really standing out besides maybe like the top 4 or 5 teams in the stack tool.
Yeah. I like Atlanta. San Diego, it's kind of like, well, and the thing right now, too, if you saw when I shared the screen, we don't know who's pitching for them yet. I kind of like Boston and KC more than what the stack tool is saying, because Brandon Pad is a like young rookie, maybe second year guy. He's gotten lit up a little bit. He hasn't been playing bad, but he gives up earned runs. KC is playing Patrick Corbin, good spots there. Houston against Oakland. I mean, do we really trust Houston again? That's the issue because this should be a good spot for them. And obviously they're ranked second on the stack tool. So I mean you might end up catching yourself putting some Houston guys into your lineups, but I mean it's just a matter of who do you play that can actually hit the ball. Because I think in the last series they had like one game where they went nuclear, and that was a game or that was a slate that we didn't play like any, I don't think. Um, Baltimore is like middle of the pack on the stacks tool, but I understand playing against John Gray that might be a decent spot for them. 1.7% lever, sorry, 1.5% leverage. Philly is playing this Jared Schuster kid. I think Jared Schuster had his best start of the season last game that he pitched, and I think he got to like 40 something. Prior to that, his best was 24, maybe 26, something like that. So this might be a spot where Philly can get some hits and get him a little rattled, I think. Shouldn't be like a priority, but it's kind of where I think. Um, yeah, I kind of like Boston and KC more than what the stacks tool is saying, and obviously Atlanta's good. We have to play the Mets. I mean, we don't necessarily have to, but do we just fade course today just because it's the Mets?
I think I want to. I don't like playing the Mets anyways. They just piss me off, so I'll probably just fade them and get drowned by the third inning.
I'm gonna add them to our ban list. Mets stack. All right, Senga sees Julio Rod, Javier Baez, Mets stacks. Nice. You want to do home runs or generator?
I can rattle up some home runs real quick.
Go for it.
First guy I'm gonna go for is Rafael Devers from the Sox. Then I'm gonna go Salvador Perez from KC, and then finish off with Taylor Ward from the.
I'm gonna go with Jorge Soler because he's on a roll. Kind of have to go with Pete Alonso, and then I'm gonna go Max Muncy. Some real power there. Now let's see if they actually show it today. All right. Lineup generator time. MLB DFS lineup generator. We play Fanduel. What are we thinking?
I think a 4-3-1 took it down last night. Let's roll with that.
Balance.
Well, yeah, I guess because the ownership won't be all that high today.
You want to
And
lock
then
him
put
down
in
to
get, yeah. Chalk Tatis. That's not fun.
It's pretty optimal and it's not as chalky. I don't mind this, to be
Trey
completely
Turner
honest.
again.
Okay, maybe I mind that. What is he,
I would just
2,800?
it already had Pena in the lineup, so just like switch him and him at shortstop and then go up a utility.
All right, hold on. I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna just put Olsen there. What's Pena's price?
29 or 31, somewhere in that range.
There it is, 29. And then Olsen, I think it was, we can go to like 31, I believe it is. Bogarts,
Who are the other stacks? It was Houston and who?
San Diego.
Padres. I guess so. That's a 4-3. We can just take a one off. I saw Vinny P at 31.
Yeah. All right, so yes, we messed with the lineup a little bit, but this is better. I don't really mind this that much. I don't like Tatis, but I mean, other than that, I don't really mind it.
Yeah, I do like that Houston's ownership is showing, you know, under 20% ish, except for Tucker, just because he's cheap. But
Right.
usually when Houston fails is when they're all chalk.
Um, anything else?
No, just I'm at another massive slate, typical Friday slate, 10 to 13 game or whatever it is, usual. Wouldn't worry about ownership too much besides maybe pitching optimal percentage, try to hedge there, and then just find the stacks you like the most. You can play the Mets if you want. I don't think we will. Just seems like a letdown spot, but I could be just completely wrong. I'm just, trying to be different for tournament's sake. And make sure to check out Stochastics tools in our description. They provide the best data in the industry. And to like and subscribe if you haven't already.